Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. And I have a really cool little knife to review for you guys today. Hey man, Sherman, that looks like a piece of gear. Well, it is a piece of gear. I'm not reviewing the wallet, I've already done a review of that. I'm reviewing what's in the wallet. Today I'm going to be reviewing the CardSharp version 2 by Iain Sinclair. Let's move this wallet off to the side. Well, the CardSharp, if you're not familiar, was designed as a wallet carry knife, as you just saw. It fits in a wallet perfectly. And the Iain Sinclair company is, I believe, from France. And they don't just make little knives like this. They also make flashlights, digital cameras. A very versatile company. But they're pretty cool. They make a lot of high-quality stuff. So I'll put a link in the description to their website. I'd recommend going to check it out. They also have videos on all their products here on YouTube and on their website, I believe. So just Google it or look it up on here, Iain Sinclair. So anyway, this is a very neat little wallet carry knife, and the company was nice enough to send this to me to review. So I'm very thankful for that. That's really cool when a company does that, and it's just really nice when they do that for us here in the community or any community that reviews things. Because it's just nice that companies acknowledge the fact that the YouTube reviewing community in and of itself is an advertising force to be reckoned with. So anyway, I'm just going to dive into this review. Now, this knife was originally designed to be a disposable, easy to transport surgical knife. Possibly be used in field hospitals for the military or for personal first aid kits. So it's kind of neat, and I could definitely see that, and I think you could too as the review goes on. But they're designing it as, or marketing it as an everyday carry knife, which would be easy to do because it is so small and so lightweight. So anyway, and you can see it's constructed out of a pretty high quality plastic. It's probably something like an FRN. You know, it's flexible, but it's not like it's going to bend and break. So I'm pretty sure it's kind of like an FRN type material. So that's nice. It's going to be weather resistant. And if you're going to carry this in your wallet or even in your pocket, I'm pretty sure this will last you for years and years to come. I definitely don't see this being as disposable. But it depends on how you use it. You got to take care of your stuff. So anyway, like I said, this is the version 2. I'm not sure how this differs between this and the first version because I did not own it. Visually, I can tell that this one has a lock and the first version did not. So, I'm sure all of you are wondering how this works if you have never seen this product before. So I'm just going to show you. You have this little lock right here, and it's a disc that runs all the way through the knife, or handle. And the best way I found to unlock this, you can see it's green, indicating that's locked, is to pinch it lightly. If you pinch it hard, it's not going to work because of the friction. Pinch it lightly and just rotate until you can see that cutout. You can see that cutout lines up with the knife, so it allows the knife to swing freely. And the knife is attached to a part of the card. So you can see it pivots right there. From there, you bring the smaller flap over. You see the smaller flap has these little pegs in it. And then bring the larger flap over. And the larger flap has a peg that pegs into a hole in the blade. And also the holes set into the pegs. So you just give it a firm pinch. And it causes a friction fit. So friction fits the two pieces of handle together. Because of that natural curved shape, as you can see. Curved shape, it's pulling the two handles away from each other. Which is, like I said, is causing the pegs to friction fit into the holes better. So there's the knife overall. You see it is very small. Overall length is right under 5 3/4 inches. And the blade length is 2.5 inches. So it's going to get under a lot of states and even countries' blade length laws. Because this is definitely a concealed carry knife. Now, could you use it tactically? I'm sure you could, but I don't recommend it. I can see this, like I said, as an EDC tool or possibly a first aid knife. Last ditch first aid knife, of course. So take a close look. You have Iain Sinclair stamped into the plastic. Kind of neat looking, IainSinclair.com. You will never forget the name of the company because they have it right there and in 2 places right there. So, actually 4 places. 5. So you'll never forget the name of the company. Sinclair everywhere. And then down at the bottom, I believe it's on the other side, it says CardSharp. So anyway, it's a very cool looking little knife. Definitely not something I've ever seen before. This is definitely kind of neat looking. It definitely has its own appeal. It does have a little bit of jimping up top. The jimping is on the blade itself and into the plastic part of the handle. So it actually is very functional, to be honest. It's very functional jimping. You can see the marks in my thumb. So that's really nice. Even though it's kind of facing away, it's actually really functional. So that's pretty nice. And as the handle is designed, you have like a little finger choil to keep your finger from riding up on the blade. So to be perfectly honest with you guys, for a knife this thin and shaped this boxy, they actually did a really good job with the ergonomics. This knife is surprisingly comfortable. I can get a full 3-finger grip on it. Not a 4-finger, but a 3-finger grip. Very comfortable, which is very surprising. Like I said, 'cause this is a tiny little knife, very thin. No, you're not going to be doing heavy cutting with this knife, so really ergonomics don't matter. But, you know, you're not going to be inclined to use it at all if it is very uncomfortable. But there are no sharp edges on that plastic handle. And it's just really nicely designed. So, I was actually really impressed with that. Let's look at that blade. Like I said, this is the black coated version. This also comes in a satin version. It's a very nice uniform coating. It kind of has a little bit of texture to it. It reminds me of the coating K-Bar puts on their knives. So you can see they did coat the edge bevel. And that part you see showing is actually where they sharpened it from the factory. Or maybe they just, you know, they didn't tell you they roughly sharpened it. It honestly did not a very good job, but it's okay. So you see they have an edge bevel. They ground the edge bevel. Coated the blade, and then just ran it real quick over some kind of sharpener, maybe even a stropping wheel, something like that, which just made that very tip of the bevel come out. As it came, it had a huge burr on one side, which did make the knife kind of sharp, but I actually put it on a ceramic rod to take that huge burr off and then put it on my strop, and it is pretty dang sharp. You know, it's cleanly cutting paper. I mean, it's not doing a terrific job at it, but you know, I can sharpen it a little bit more and it will do a better job. But as you can see, it's a super thin blade. I mean, just insanely thin. So it's going to be great at food preparation. Even, like I said, utility, like cutting open boxes, which is really what all this was designed and marketed for very light, pretty much last-ditch EDC cutting tasks. Like maybe you left your knife at the house. Well, then you have this in your wallet. You can use to cut open a box. Like I said, food preparation. They actually have a few videos here on YouTube, if you want to look them up, where they're using it as such. There's one video of them, or somebody, using this knife to scale, skin, and bone a fish. So it is very capable in that, because like I said, it's such a thin blade. And the blade is fairly flexible, you can see that. So it probably would assist in skinning or scaling a fish. So it's a pretty strong design. When it's locked open like this, you can see it does flex a little bit, but it's not coming apart. Well, you see it just did, the little nub came loose from the blade, but the handle did not come apart. Yeah, that's easily fixable, just push it back together. So like I said, it is flexible, but it's not flimsy. You know, you're not going to be using this heavily anyway. Like I said, this is a last-ditch light EDC knife. So very impressed with the ergonomics. It is a very strong design for what it is and what it's designed for. So takedown of it, it will not come apart unless you want it to. Grab this little nub right here and pull, and it just comes apart. Blade, put it back into this position, and that little nub kind of locks it in place there, but always lock it, because if you don't, and you're carrying this in your pocket or in your wallet like it's designed to do, it can come up a little bit and it might stab you. So that's not a good thing. So definitely always lock it when you're done, and the blade will not come out. Now, how long will this last? I have no idea. You have these creased flaps, which make it, it's what you fold to make into the handle. How long will those last? I'm really not sure. 100 openings of this knife and closing, will those eventually wear out and just basically rip off? I'm not sure. I've not heard from anybody who's had one of these for a while and talked about it, but I'm sure this will last you a long time, because I do not foresee anybody using this every single day. So if you carry it and use it for its intended purpose, like I said, as a last ditch knife, I'm sure it'll last you a really long time. So I just want to show you in a normal, it's not really a normal wallet, but it's kind of a concealed wallet. This is my county com wallet. Yeah, my weapons permit, tape, put some paper over there so you can't see the important stuff. But like I said, it's the exact same size as a credit card or a license, so it will fit just fine. Carry it, you don't even know it's there. It weighs 0.6 ounces, so weighs absolutely nothing. It's super small, and like I said, it's the perfect thing for that, because for things like this, last ditch items, you want to pretty much forget you have them. You don't want to notice them on you all the time, or else you're going to stop carrying them, because they're just for last ditch. You don't use them all the time, so you want to carry it and forget it. You can do that with this knife, either in your wallet. Like I said, after carrying this for several months or weeks or months or even years, how will this hold up being in your pocket? Being bent. Like I said, I'm not sure. I've been carrying it for a while, and it has not posed any problems. As you can see, it's kind of warped a little bit, but that's just the plastic. You can always bend it back into shape a little bit. That's no big deal. Put this in your bug out bags as a last ditch food prep knife. I think that's what it would really excel in, and the category that a lot of people are going to put this in this community. So I think it would be great as that, or a last ditch skinning knife. So I've seen a lot of people on here reviewing this knife and comparing it to a lot of keychain knives, and I don't really think that's fair, because this knife was not designed as a keychain knife. It was designed as a wallet to carry knife. So I don't think it's really fair for people to criticize this design when comparing it to a keychain knife or a small drop in the pockets type knife like the Spyderco Dragonflies or the Ladybugs or some of the Bug series. I just don't think it's really fair to judge it comparing it to other knives like that. Because if Iain Sinclair wanted to design a knife to be carried on the keys, they would have designed a knife to be carried on the keys. This knife was not designed to be compared to those other types of knives, and it was not designed as a competitor. So take this knife for what it is. It was designed to be very thin, lightweight, easy to carry, carried in the wallet, in the back pocket, or whatnot. So just judging it on what it was designed for, it's a really cool design. It is a very neat, innovative design in my opinion. So I think it's worth checking out. Like I said, if you guys want something to throw in your bug out bags as a last ditch knife, something to do very light cutting tasks, this will probably fit in Altoids containers. Just throwing that idea out there. I say probably because I'm not too sure. By the way, I forgot to mention the steel on this blade. They're marketing it as a surgical stainless steel. So it's just going to be, in my guess, a cheap stainless steel. It does not hold an edge very well, but that's okay. Like I said, it's last ditch, and it's so thin, it's going to be good. Like I said, as a food prep knife or a skinning knife, it doesn't need to be hair shaving sharp. So, very cool design. I think it's worth checking out. These are going for about $20 depending on where you look. You know, is it worth it? It's up to you. I think it's worth it. I think it's a really cool little design. Definitely worth checking out if you're into unusual types of knives. I definitely think this is worth checking out. The Iain Sinclair CardSharp 2. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments box. I did a lot of talking about philosophy in this video. But, yeah, just hope you enjoyed. Alright guys, take care. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614, peace.